Yo, welcome back to another video, everybody. Today we got another trade recap going. I took this trade on M&Q per usual at around 10:17. This is a long ass trade. I can't lie. I was in this for like 40 minutes, something like that. I made almost $600 combined, all my trims and everything. You can see right there. You can see my entry and exit price, entry exit time. So yeah. I did take this trade on my practice account because unfortunately last night when I was charting I accidentally pressed I can't even remember. I just accidentally placed a trade, and my lockout settings on Top Step X only let me take one trade, and then it locks me out for like a day. So I accidentally took a trade, and then I got out of it really quickly when I noticed. And yeah, so I was locked out for like a day. So I had to take this on my practice account, unfortunately, and it was a really good trade. So it's a bit unfortunate, but it's all good. There's always another day, always another trade. So heading over to TradingView, coming into the morning, I always like to start out on the daily time frame because, as you know, high time frame holds higher power. So I noticed this high right here. Go ahead and mark it out. We can label it high time frame high. Alright, nothing else really catches my eye that's like close on the daily, so we can head on down to the 4-hour. We can see, okay, there's another high right here because we can see market pulled back up, formed a lower high. So we can see this is a high time frame high right here, and we are also in a downtrend on the 4-hour on the higher time frames, so that is something else to look out for. But we can see right here that there is a low right here, high time frame low. We can see, oh, okay, well, price is coming down and it's taking out this level like it just did right there. Okay, well, what this is telling me is, okay, the market pushed up to find this level right there. All right, what reaction did we have off of that level? Okay, we shifted structure to the downside. Okay, why do we do that? To take out these two levels right here, majorly, like preferably this one. I mean, this one too, maybe, but you know, we really wanted this level right here. That is why we took out that level, and that's how the market moves. It moves off of liquidity. That's known as liquidity. So that's just where pretty much a bunch of orders are resting, and they just need to be taken out. So heading on down to the lower time frames, you can see, okay, there's nothing else really nearby. And depending on what reaction we have off of this low getting taken out right here, this will form my bias. So what I used to think was, okay, once this level gets taken out, I'm immediately going to be bullish. I'm immediately going to be bearish. But that's actually not really the best way to go about it. So because you're not adapting with the market. You're not getting what the market's giving you, pretty much. So let's say, okay, this level gets taken out, and I'm like, I'm like, okay, I'm bearish. Like this level is, you know, it's the end all be all. We have to go up. Okay, what happens if we keep going down? Well, then I'm just gonna be disappointed. I'm just gonna be like, okay, well, that ruins my whole setup, and that ruins my whole plans. Like that's disappointing, you know. But however, if I go into it with the mindset of, okay, well, once this level gets taken out, I'm gonna see how price reacts to it. If we can sweep the level, which really shows that we're trying to shift in the other direction, then okay, then I'll be bearish. You know, if my other confluences come in that are signaling me to be bearish, okay, or bullish, sorry, then I'm gonna be bullish. Or actually, it doesn't even matter. Then I'm gonna be bullish. Then I'm gonna be bearish. You know, so it's just better to go into the market with that type of mindset, because then you're adapting to what the market's giving you, and you're not just being, you know, you're not telling the market what you want. You adapt with what the market is going to give you. And if that just so happens to be your setup, that's your setup. If the market doesn't give you anything to adapt with that goes along with your plan or whatever, then you know, you just got to deal with that. You know, can't trade that day, and that's where a lot of people go wrong, is what I feel like. So heading on down to the 1 hour, still a high time frame. We can see nothing really sparks my interest. These little pullbacks will probably be a lot more clear on the lower time frames, so I'll probably definitely mark those out. But the thing that did spark my interest a lot was coming down here. So we can see we obviously took out this level, like I've said 400 times, but we have nothing else really on the higher time frames until this right here. This high time frame low. So what this is telling me, okay, and I know I just said, you know, you gotta wait for like a reaction pretty much. You gotta wait for a reaction pretty much to tell you what the market wants to do. You gotta wait for a reaction to tell you what the market wants to do. But however, in this case, I would be extremely like the market definitely wants to go up in this case, because look at this. The only level of liquidity to the downside from this level right here is, sorry, that's not right, I don't think. I'll mark it off. Is this right here. These little levels, and these aren't even important. Like I guarantee the market would just blow past these anyway. No, I'm not going to guarantee that, but it's more than likely that's what would happen. So we can see the next level of liquidity below here is almost 300 points away, and there's no reason for the market to come down, take this level out, which is a huge level, like absolutely huge level. I mean, it's a 4-hour level, so that's a pretty high time frame level. There's no reason for the market to take that out, then immediately just come down and take out these little levels, like 300 points. There's no reason for the market to do that. So I recognize this, and this already made me extremely bullish for the day. But like I said, again, you have to adapt. You know, anything can happen. You know, so. But again, I was right. So, not to toot my own horn or anything, but you can see we have actually, that's the second step. We can see right here, okay, we took this level out. Are we sweeping it is my next question. And yes, we are, because you can see we are not closing below this level. We're holding above this level right here, which is showing that, okay, sellers were in huge control all throughout here, right? Then the second we hit this level, okay, buyers are stepping in because we're not closing below this level, and we're immediately shooting back up with good buying pressure. So we can go ahead and label this DOL sweep. DOL just means draw on liquidity. It's just a different fancy term for liquidity sweep. So then we can see, okay, on this push down, we also created some nice fair value gaps right here. All right, and there's one right here. You might be thinking, oh, okay, take your entry off this one. Well, I would, but you can see right above it, we have this one too, which is 64 points. So why would I, once we inverse this, why would I take the risk of the market reversing once we hit this fair value gap right here? Why would I take the risk of the market reversing right after we inverse this one? Wouldn't it make a whole lot more sense for me to just take my entry right above here? And that's exactly what I did, and it ended up playing out really well. Like, your entry is later, but you know, it's a lot more safe. It's a lot more safe, and it's just a smarter thing to do. Anybody would tell you that. So right here we have 3 more confluences right there. Inverse fair value gap. Well, it hasn't been inversed yet, but it's just fair value gap right now, but it is going to get inversed. And we have an MSS, which is a market structure shift. So MSS. And why do we have that? Is because we're breaking highs right here, as you can see. You can see this candle, boom, broke above this candle, right here, broke above this high right there. What does the next candle do? Boom, straight above this high right there. So this is showing that buyers are really in control here. And I know you can't see it, but when this trade was playing out live, like every red candle we get, it immediately flipped back green. So this was showing me that, like, I was really confident that we were going to go up, and I was right. So going into the next candle, you can see we inversed the fair value gap right there. So I can go ahead and change this to reverse fair value gap with good buying pressure. Now, why am I saying good buying pressure? So I can't really show you like on replay, because this is a confluence you kind of have to see when the trade's playing out live. But when I took my entry, to around 19,841. So 19,841 right there. All right, and I had a 30-point stop loss. Okay, so you can see we inverse this fair value gap. So normally what somebody would think is, okay, we inverse the fair value gap, boom, enter. you could do that, but it's not giving the market enough time to really decide what it wants to do. So another confluence that I have is, okay, we inverse this fair value gap, right? Then I wait to see what the market, like how we react to it pretty much. So okay, we inverse the fair value gap. If we inverse it, we pull back down, and then we shoot up immediately with a bunch of impulse of buyers. In this case, like we did today, boom, I'm entering. That is telling me all I need to know. All of my confluences are there. Everything is there. But in the case of, okay, we inverse this fair value gap, we come back down, we're just slowly inching and creeping up above it again. We pull back down a lot, slowly inching up. Then I would be a bit skeptical to take it, because that's showing that sellers or buyers, but in whatever scenario, are really trying to take control, and the other one is weaker. Once we actually do inverse, and this is going to help you a lot if you do apply this. It's going to help you a lot with fake outs, because what tends to happen is when people just enter solely off of inverse fair value gaps, most of the time they're going to get, not most of the time, but like a good amount of time, you're going to get faked out. So this is a really good confluence to eliminate that, because you're really waiting for the I guess buyers or sellers to just really tell you what they want to do. So I had my first price target here, then I had my second one, I think that my third was here, and then on the 15-minute there was a fair value gap right here, so I had like my third price target there or something. But yeah, and also on the 15-minute, on the 30-minute, everything, we didn't have anything else stopping us until higher. So again, that just made it even more made me even more confident in this trade. And also another thing, looking on the higher time frame, look how we reacted to that. Like we were extremely bullish off of this level, going on to the 2 hour, the 1 hour. Looking at that, like the higher time frames all align with the structure of the lower time frames. So we're bullish on the higher time frames, we're bullish on the lower time frames, which is exactly what you want, because this means the trade is more than likely going to go your way. So I think I had my final price target up here. I don't know if I ended up hitting that though. Yeah, I did not hit that. But anyways, I let the trade run. I entered with 10 micros. I took 7 out of my 10 right here. I took another, I think, 1 out like right here. I took another 1 out right here. And then at this point, I had my stop loss at break even for a while after my first trims. But then I just trailed it along. There was no pullbacks on the 5-minute, but I just trailed it with these 1-minute pullbacks. So I think my last trail was about like right here is where I set it. And then I did get stopped out like right here. But if I hadn't have gotten stopped out, shit, my bad. But if I hadn't have gotten stopped out, you can see we just absolutely ripped. We just ripped up after this. And, I would have gotten all my price targets would have gotten hit, but I don't really care. I was really green on this trade. It was a great trade, great play. Followed all my systems, my rules. Just need to continue doing this, and there's no reason I shouldn't be profitable. But yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions in the comments, any tips, anything you guys might want to see. Thanks for watching. I'll see y'all.